Hello and welcome to GFiT 2020, a virtual event conducted by good firms. My name is Namita and I will be your host for today's session. Today is the fourth day of this virtual IT event. But before starting today's session, first let's get well versed with what GFiT is all about. Considering the current pandemic situation where the physical events are not possible, Good Firms has introduced GFiT 2020, an IT virtual event for 5 days that brings service providers and service seekers all together on a single platform in order to get the perfect match for their respective businesses to solve the challenges by employing the latest trends prevailing in the market. I'm sure by now you know that you can enter your questions in the chat window throughout the session, and we will answer those after the session ends. So let's kick things off by introducing the speaker for this session, Mr. Utpal Betai, a senior project manager at SoluLab Inc., who will share his knowledge about blockchain and decentralized finance. Over to you, Mr. Utpal.
Thank you, Namita. Let me start by welcoming people from all over the world. Good morning, America. Good afternoon, Europe. Good evening, India. And people in Australia must be sleeping. So let them sleep. They might catch tomorrow. So let me share my screen. Okay, so topic for the day, DeFi, decentralized financing. So we are so happy about Bitcoin going up, every other currency, crypto, be it token or a coin going up. And the fun starts when you just have funds sitting there and making money for you. So if we compare this with the traditional banking system that we have been having for ages, so what happens is they enjoy the greater control. Like governments across the world, the central banks, they decide how many or how much money to be printed, what kind of interest rate you will be getting, and what they will do with your money. So while your money is sitting idle, you are getting very small amount of interest, and people are taking loans and enjoying that fund, and sometimes won't even return your funds or won't return to the banks. But fast forward to the current situation we are in for last 10, 15 years with the advent of cryptocurrency, what we are getting is the advantage of decentralization. And with this decentralized system, people will have better control over their funds, their security, their crypto, and they can earn money while their crypto is sitting in their wallet. So, unlike the centralized system, decentralized system has got many advantages. And I'll walk you through what are different options available out there, why we should be going for this, and what is there for the company like us to help build next generation banking solution in the open environment. So one on the left, as you can see, is the amount of people or number of people who are unbanked. We don't realize this. We are a bit fortunate. We went to good schools, colleges, we have degrees, we can do coding, we are part of companies where we are doing sales, marketing, customer service, customer success. You might be CTO, CEOs. So some of you might have gone to Ivy Leagues also. So there we don't realize the difference between have and have nots. So let's talk about this have nots. People who are not having access to traditional banking. Somebody coming from Mexico City to US, working on some construction site, and then trying to get his check cashed on Friday evening just to get some money and kill that weekend. Do you ever thought about that person, what kind of trouble he goes through? You might be sitting in New York, you might be having office in London, you sometimes go and visit, but then you never had to transfer money back to New York. So you don't understand that cross border option or like cross border transaction, how much pain one has to go through. So all these migrant people of the world, the kind of issues that they are facing, kind of money that they are losing on each transaction, because the kind of fees that they are charging is too high, be it like traditional wire transfer or private companies, they charge tons. And then even they try to make money in converting from one currency to another currency. So that's the issue with fiat. Too much control is sitting with too few people, and end customer is losing a lot of money. And what to do with the people who don't have access to banks? How we can come out with open solution, and how we can help them with mini or micro transactions where banks are not too enthusiastic about. Now let's go to the next one, where I've tried to put this in a little bit perspective, where it's showing layered architecture. You must be knowing that internet is having layered architecture also, and various different layers are there. Obviously at the bottom there will be this hardware layer where we don't go unless you are in DevOps or you are interested in managing everything by yourself. You don't go up to that level. Next comes that network layer, where again things are very transparent to us. We don't tend to, as a user, end user, or investor, we don't tend to go there. But yes, let's say you are having money, you run your servers, you have data centers, and you want to do mining, you want to take advantage of being a node in the blockchain ecosystem, then you might be worried about those layers. Now comes the protocol layer, where it's about consensus. The beauty here is like how to make it more democratic, rather than like just giving control to the central banks or the government of any country. How we can make it more democratic environment when it comes to banking and finance also. Then permission and permissionless. Now this is very interesting aspect, and I'll touch upon this again in the side chain, because everything cannot reside on the main blockchain, because otherwise it will make it bulky, and then transaction will become slow once it becomes very popular. Now other two layers, it's where things are more visible to us in one way or the other, in terms of the systems that we are using, be it like a web based system or a mobile app that you are having. So that's where the feed, you will be getting a constant explorer where you can see things happening in real time. People are transferring money like from one crypto to another. You are sending, receiving, requesting. You have one wallet, multiple wallet, single wallet with multiple currencies, so on and so forth. And then you have Oracle. Now Oracle, we are not talking about database here, it's about a system or a service which is part of the blockchain ecosystem, wherein it gets outside of the blockchain ecosystem and try to get the real time data and feed it to the smart contract. Now smart contract has got all the rules, and it's going to execute, or it's going to work on its own, but then it will need that external data. It needs to know what's going on outside of that blockchain. So that's where this Oracle comes into the picture. And then at the top level, what we have is the DApp. Now, DApp can be web based, it can be mobile, based on your choice. And then on the right, what we have is the programming languages, be it like C++ or Solidity or Go or anything that you can use to write your smart contracts. And then you will have a layer of decentralized application, because we can talk about banking and finance application for days, but then we need to know how we can make such an application, and then how those application are going to talk with each other. Now, I've tried to put this again in a simpler perspective just to make it simple for everybody to understand. Because when it's people say blockchain, it's just like a black box that we have in our mind that, okay, data must be going there, it's very secure, and somehow I am able to access it. But there are a lot of other things which are going on. And those who are in crypto, those who are having crypto investments or cryptocurrency in their wallet, they must have gone through all this. And on the other end, the developers must have touched any of these layers or all of these layers, And those who are in sales and marketing, they might have to present this in front of their potential client, maybe today or tomorrow, or they must have already done this. So, welcome to DeFi, decentralized financing. And as I have been telling more about centralized system and the cons of centralized system, we need to go towards decentralized system or decentralized finance options. Let's go on that journey and try to understand what's going on in and around us and in blockchain ecosystem, and what are the kind of experiments various different companies and the government plus individual companies, private labels are doing, and what they are trying to achieve here. So I'll open up the landscape. I'll go through each and every option available out there, and what are the companies or the brands who are trying to make their mark in those areas. So sorry about that. It just went flied away. Okay, so these are some of the news articles or the news headlines I came across. So people are thinking just like crypto will go down or the price of crypto will go down. Similarly, the craze for the DeFi will go down also. But that's not the case. It's just it has started, and we are in this for long haul. So it's going to go on forever. It'll take some years to settle down, and people will get used to decentralized financing option or the finance instruments. So first of all, we need to understand the regular instruments that we are having, the savings or the options, future, long, short, margin trading, derivative, and the way you can make money or the way you can transact and be ahead of the system and try to make money. So how we can do such a thing with crypto? Because crypto getting represented only in tokens and coins, but what is behind the scene, how those price of coins and tokens are being regulated, and what are the new flavors when it comes to those coins that has came up. Now you must have heard of Binance being like one of the best exchange out there. It's not like it's not having issues. It might have issues. It might come under some attacks because, and we need to understand regular traditional banking system comes under attack every day. Similarly, these crypto exchanges, they also come under attack every now and then, and we hear all kind of stories, and it's in news for sometimes wrong reason also. But we need to try to understand and read between the lines to figure out what is next, what kind of future we are heading towards. Now, about ICO, you must be knowing ICO was too hot in past, and like people were making money, generating money, getting raising funds for all kind of different projects, and then we don't know what happened to those projects or what happened to those ICOs or what happened to those tokens. But then it went on and on for a few years, and now people are shifting towards the STO. It's like more secure, more traditional, and it's backed by something rather than it's just like a token or a currency which has got no backing. So you have money, you invest into something. There are n number of avenues out there. You invest into real estate, you invest into collectible items, or you invest into commodity market, you invest into stocks, bonds, and all other different combinations. Similarly, when it comes to crypto, like what kind of options we are having. So earlier, before like 5, 10 years, the options were very less, the things were not this mature, there were not too many options, and the question at the end of the day was like where I can use this. Okay, I've purchased Bitcoin or I purchased Ether or Ripple or any other thing, and then it's sitting in my wallet, be it like a hardware wallet or a mobile app or a software wallet. Now what to do next? Just wait and pray to God that okay, it's go up in price, and then what I'll do is I'll cash that out. But what happens in between? You wait for 5 year, you wait for a year, you wait for 6 months, you wait for a month, and then price might go down also. So what happened to your money? It will also go down. But then during that time, if there is any way you can make money out of it, then what are the options? While it's sitting in your wallet, can it make money for you? And if yes, what are the kind of percentage gain you can expect? So we are just not talking about the price rise or the price going up or down, but what are the other options and what others can do with your crypto. So compare it with the traditional investment options or the financial instrument. Similar options are available nowadays into crypto space as well. So this is like a very small like file or animation which will help you understand staking is something you must have done on some of the network. It's like you do staking rather than uh, all your money is in, right? So there is this another option with the help of which you can do, you stake, it sits for some time, and then you can unstake also. And while it's sitting there, what kind of money you can generate out of it or what kind of returns you can get. So there are companies out there who supports this. There are networks or products out there with the help of which you can make money by just keeping your funds there or your cryptos there. Similarly, you are exchanging, you are going from one currency or one crypto to another crypto. And then these are just like, live real time dashboards, which we have for stocks and bonds also, which are there for crypto space as well. And then by keeping there what is in it for that network or the product to make money out of. So they make money out of exchange rates, they make money out of small fees that they would charge, or they will make money out of if they give it to somebody, somebody lends this, or like somebody is putting this on loan, then that's where they will start getting some money out of it. And then they raise investment also in form of sto rather than icos. Now this is one of my favorite slide where it shows like how things move in real time. Looks like bacteria, but it's like your fund in various different tokens and coins, and it goes from one person to another person. You are a buyer, you are a seller, then the network generates new supply. It follows one of the protocol which is out there, and then what goes to exchange and how it works. And somebody who is doing this, supporting this whole thing with the hardware, being a node, what kind of rewards that they are getting. Those who are nodes and they have uh, ability or they are selected to do voting, what kind of rewards that they will be getting. So with this simple nice looking animation color coded, it is trying to explain to us that how things work at the level where different stakeholders are there and they are doing their part to support the entire ecosystem. So traditional, as I have been saying, is very centralized in nature, while the decentralized has got no single authority who can control this. Then here things are permission. Here things are permissionless. In central, it's not transparent, while in case of decentralized, it's transparent. So even with all mature fund transfer mechanism being used by central banks across the world, uh, issues happen every day. Like people are getting siphoned of their funds. There are hacks also. Banks are losing money. Everything is happening in traditional system also. But still, too much money is sitting in centralized mode of financing, centralized mode of banking. While in case of decentralized, as we know, there are too many advantages. People are not there yet. It has started, but it's just, we can say, tip of the iceberg, where people have just started realizing that this can be another option. We can bank to the unbanked, and then we can make money out of it. But the education, the awareness has to happen. And then we are like very early into this game. Just imagine like history of the world. You were not there when the currency was born, right? You were not there when original idea of bank was born, but you should feel fortunate that you are here and you are part of the history where this new revolution is happening right in front of us. Now, what is it all about? So it's like it will be the decentralized financial system that is going to be built over top of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, we are all convinced with the power of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then some other newer networks like EOS and others, which are coming up in a big way. EOS being like they have collected the highest fund out of their ICO, and it was in terms of like $4 billion. So that was like a huge sum. And then it depends how it becomes popular. So it's not just that Bitcoin has got the highest price, that's why it's popular. It's the developer interest, it's the interest of investor, it's the interest of the stakeholder that makes it more popular. Ethereum being just 5 year old, and you need to look at like the amount of money that people are investing into and the number of developers those worldwide are interested in developing on the top of Ethereum, because they know that it's very stable and they can bank on it, and they can put applications on the top of it, and they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They can focus on the application rather than building the network. So programmable is the biggest thing. It gives you customization option. You can do whatever you want, and you can offer the product in whatever manner you want to offer to the world. Now you can decide the amount of money you want to make each transaction over the period of time, and what kind of offering will be part of your application. And then there is no limit. Similarly, another thing is there is no censorship. Nobody controls this. So it's very uncontrolled environment, but it is sort of P2P, where multiple parties are going to decide how things are going to happen. And between two parties, they can do whatever transactions they want to do. And be it like fund transfer to start with, uh, or it can be any financial instrument we have in traditional fiat currency. Similar instruments can be created or can be made available to the outside world, to the end user or the investor. So smart contract, I won't take too much time because some of the terms you must be already knowing because they are out there forever now, and it's becoming more common. Smart contract, it's like a self-executing contract. Now compare this with a contract for which you have to go to a lawyer, he will draft something, then you will sign, other party will sign, and then you will need somebody to get it executed, something has to happen and all those things, right? So too many barriers. Now compared to this, here only thing that will be a trigger point, there will be some conditions which are already there, and we know them as contract terms. so if A happens, B will happen, or A and B will happen, then C is going to happen. Whatever rules we have put there are going to happen. But then how the trigger is going to happen, it's going to happen with the last thing, and that is Oracle. Because Oracle is your agent with the help of which you go out, get the real world data, and it feeds it back to the smart contract, and it's going to execute and give you the return. Whoever is the beneficiary, they will get in the form that they are supposed to get. Then the liquidity pool. Now here, the pool has to be big. It should support all kind of coins and tokens. Let's say today you are coming out with a product, you can't just say, okay, I'll just support Bitcoin and Ether, or I'll just support top 10. Nobody will come to you. So they want you to support the custom ones, the newer ones, as well as the traditional or the ones which are sitting there forever. Plus, how you can go out and look for better returns. You must have heard of portability. You can go from one mobile carrier to another mobile carrier without changing your cell number. Now similar thing is happening in space of insurance also, that for your vehicle, for your life, or for your health, you have got insurance for from a company for last 2 years. Now you are not happy with the service, you can take your entire history with this company, you can go to the next provider to get the better service. Now same thing happens can happen in banking, but it's going to happen and it's happening in crypto space also. For the amount of crypto sitting with you, who can provide you with the best return? And that's like, in simple term, we call it shop around. So somebody else will do that shop around for you. You don't have to do it, and it's going to provide you with the best possible return. Now, in traditional savings account, you might be getting 2%, 3%, depending on where you are in the part of the world. Some places it's zero, one, minus. It can be any number, very small or no returns. Or even they might charge you to keep your money in the banks. Here, it's not the case. It's positive, and returns can be in two digits. It can be uh, up to teens, or it can be in single higher digit as well. Now, these are some of the products that are in this space, and these products are at different levels currently. So, some of them are very mature or at advanced stage, some of them are just getting started. So, there are two types of exchanges, centralized and decentralized. And decentralized being very popular. Every day I'm into sales, so I'm getting every day one inquiry for decentralized exchange. People are just asking, if you have done, I want a copy, or can you white label it? Can we have it in a week time? Can we make it live in 1 month time? And those kind of inquiries we are getting day in and day out. So that's the area becoming very popular. KYC and identity. Now, this is a huge issue across the world. If you are in US, you have social security number. If you are in India, you have Aadhaar ID. We call it Aadhaar. Uh, there's the term for the unique number that's you are getting from the government by registering yourself and providing your biometrics. And then you might be any part of the world, the government across the world, they might have different way of identifying people. But then how you can make sure, or how the system or a website or an application can confirm your identity, know your customer. Then AML is also there, anti money laundering. So for like longer period of time, people just believe that crypto being used in like all illegal activities. That's not truth, right? There are other aspects where crypto is being used also, and their acceptance of crypto is just going to rise from where we are today. Then the stable coins. So crypto being very volatile, we need something which can make it more stable compared to crypto. So you can compare it with the commodity price or the gold price, silver price, or the currency price, and then you compare that with the crypto price fluctuation. You will see a difference. Crypto being more fluctuating, and then it's 24/7. Nobody's controlling. So that's where the issue is. So then they came up with this idea of supporting coin with something in the background and try to make it more stable compared to very volatile cryptos. Then insurance. Now, traditional insurance plus insurance on your crypto investment also. Margin trading, as you are aware about margin trading in the stocks and the other areas or the traditional investment option, similar margin trading is available in cryptos also, and we have been developing for one of our clients from New York for a while now. Then lending and borrowing. So crypto is sitting, you have kept it in your own wallet, or it's in, so custodial, non-custodial, then hardware wallet, software wallet, or it's everything is in your control. In case of decentralized, in case of centralized, it's in somebody else's control. But the bottom line here is, if you have, then what kind of return it is generating besides the price rise or price fall. So that's where this comes into play. Can somebody borrow and they just bet on it to go up? They'll give you something and they'll make some money too. And the person who has created this product, they will get something out of it too. So it's like win-win situation for all of us. And then the analytics or the prediction market. So biggest thing people want to predict today, maybe who will be the next president, right? Will it be like Trump or Biden? I'm on no side because I won't be able to vote. But then people might be predicting this, right? Whether it'll rain today or not. All kind of bets are going around the world, be it on sports or harvest or anything. So you predict, You predict right, you get money, but you get in terms of crypto. Then tokenization of assets. Now you can't buy a mansion on Hollywood Boulevard, right? Nobody can. But it's not that easy. You might be able to if you work hard, make yourself big. But then let's say you are the average Joe, but you want a piece of pie. So how you can purchase that? Or a very rare collectible item. So if I can divide that into chunks and I call it like a token, I divide it into 1,000 part, I divide it into 10,000 parts. You will be able to own that piece of pie. And that's possible because of something called asset tokenization. So these are the areas or the categories where decentralized finance is like becoming big, and there'll be some newer applications as we go forward. But asset exchange, then credit, insurance, indexing, basket, lending, borrowing, derivatives. Now, here in case of derivatives, there is no limit, right? You can be as creative as possible. You can create any kind of contract that you want with the other party, and then at the end of it, the term or the condition or the dates, whatever applies, you get money, and the other party would get what they are looking for, and eventually everybody will win. Stable coins, we touch upon that, and then prediction market also. The last point is important, that is open banking. Now those who are in software, they must be aware of open source, right, compared to that proprietary. Or like the wall gardens, right, the app stores, they charge you 30%. And so now what is happening here is people are coming out with their own app store, or they're bypassing, like Spotify bypass the app store, right, Apple app store. So similarly in the banking system, do if I want to open up a bank, should I have to go to my government and jump like a lot of hoops, maybe get about 100 licenses and spend about a year or two, maybe in business for 10 years, have to put deposit of multi-million, and then they might or they might not give me the license to open a bank. Now you bypass all this, you jump and you start creating your own bank with the help of a website or a mobile app, and then at the back you will have the strong robust blockchain network. So that's the beauty of this whole thing. You don't have to go and uh, go to a lot of people, government, central authority, and then get all these licenses and compliance and everything. I'm not saying it's like a Ponzi scheme or anything, or you just try to, get money out of something. It's just like you are coming out of it something which was not possible before few years, and you are trying to provide a solution which will give you money, as well as it will give a lot of flexibility and option to the world, those who are going to become part of your ecosystem or your offering, the end users. Now this shows very interesting chart. If you look at the left side, on the right side at the chart, where it says 2 billion, and then on the right it goes about like a, it was about to touch 12 billion. So that's where the thing is, the rise that has happened in just few months. So while we were all like trying to survive and coping with the situation we are all in across the world due to the pandemic, things were happening in parallel in crypto space, and there was this huge interest in non-traditional finance option also. How I can make money when stock market was going down, how I can make money where like gold, bonds, everything else was going down, how I can make money while traditional interest rates are going towards zero or even below that. So that's where this all comes into play, and this is the proof that people have started realizing the power of this. Now, if you compare this with the entire world or the traditional business or the finance or the banking system, this is nowhere near, maybe about a percentage or two. So it's not a big number. But eventually, yes, over the period of next 5 years, you will see this rise to a big number. Now, in terms of adoption across the world, so in some part of the world, things are very, people are very bold, aggressive when it comes to adoption of crypto. And in some part of the world, they are little behind, but they are coming up. So People might want to experiment, they might want to check if it's work out for them, and then how it's going to work out for them. Now this is just one chart for the global remittance. Now remittance, as you know, like US and Mexico, right, only border in the world where the currency price difference is like 1 to 10. Generally it's like 1 is to 2, 1 is to 4, 1 is to 5. This is where, like, it's, I don't know about today's price, but it's like there is a huge difference. So there is an incentive for the person who is coming from outside, make money and send it back. And that's how some of the countries, they survive. They survive only on remittance. They survive only on money that is being transferred from outside world to them. So that's where there is a big money to be made if you are the intermediary, if you are the agent, if you are in between, or if you provide the system. So who is providing this? There are two people. Like, one is traditional bank, another is private companies. And this is in case of fiat. Now, same thing can happen and has to happen in crypto space also. And who is going to support? There are solutions out there. There are applications out there who can help you achieve this. And this is going to happen in real time. And the charges would be negligible, or I would say it's almost zero. So cross-border payment transaction, it's becoming big. We are into software IT services, so we have clients all over the world, especially in UK, US, Canada. So the very first question they will ask is like, how am I going to wire money? Will it be like through wire transfer, or through some website portal, or do you accept crypto? So for some client, those who insist we accept crypto also, we are open for that. And in that regard, we are a bit ahead or advanced. We don't care the price goes like down the next day, but then just to provide the flexibility to our clients, we accept crypto also. So how we can accept, like what I need to provide to them, how they can transfer. So there are ways and means for that. And there are some websites or applications where they can go and they can transfer money, and I'll be getting that in real time almost. Now what big companies or the financial institutions are doing, Facebook, like, your day might not end without naming it once at least. You might not name LinkedIn, but then you might name Facebook and Twitter maybe once every day. But even if they are having so much power, they could not go ahead, or like their own crypto Libra didn't become that big. But it might eventually one day they will come back to that, and that will become their project or defining offering. Then Ripple is another one which is coming up in a big way. You have to look at the last column also, where it says the market cap in terms of $1 billion, billion with B. Then we have JP Morgan, Visa, Swift, all these big ones, right? Big names, or like they run that ecosystem. They are there forever. They have been providing us with all these financial services for the fund transfer and everything else. So, or credit or debits. So they are also experimenting. They are not advertising, but they are experimenting in their own way. Now the kind of system that they are having is more centralized, so their love for centralization is not going away overnight. It might take some time, and how much we don't know, but we don't have to worry about them. We have to worry about us. We have to worry about how we can come out with some system for us or our client, and help the world, provide them with decentralized finance or financial instruments and options. Now, STO here on the right, the chart is more important. And very first thing where this STO is being backed, or it's being used in, or it's being part of that ecosystem, is finance and banking. Then other thing comes up, which is blockchain, real estate, service and technology, and e-commerce, art and energy is at the bottom. This can change also. Some of them will come up in big way in future, but things are a little bit different this year. But things will improve in no time, next 6 months, 1 year, and you will see this chart going up in terms of numbers as well as in terms of value. Then that STO, how it is backed with, what is behind that STO. So either it can be fiat, your traditional currency, it can be a crypto, a known crypto, or your own, or the new one you are coming out with, or there is no collateral. Just like traditional crypto, there is no collateral. Similarly, here for your STO, you don't put collateral. Then your question would be how the price would be manipulated. It's a good question to have. So there the price would be manipulated using an algorithm which will back or which will decide the pricing on day in day out. For fiat it's more or less stable with some kind of fluctuation. In case of crypto, the fluctuation level in terms of percentage happening every day is more. Sometimes it's very big, sometimes it's even smaller chunk compared to the fiat. Now, the amount of money which is sitting, now this is in dollar value, but then it's for the ether, fine. So, and what are the kind of algorithm or protocol or set of rules it's part of? So, maker, compound, and synthetics, that's being used heavily or more in number. There are some other protocols people are using because when we try to do anything new, we need to have set of rules, and those rules has to be public. People need to know how things are going to happen, so that will be open source, it will be available out there, and it will be there for people to verify and see how it's going to work. And there are projects getting added every day as we speak. It's just the nature has changed from ICO world as, I would say, moved or graduated to STO. Now, here, if you look at the last one, that is example, because that's what we are going to look at, that is available to us. We might not know what it is called, but we might know it with the help of the product name. Just like PayPal, Stripe, Bitcoin, Ether, and that's how we identify. We don't worry too much about the underlying technology, even though we want to, but then we identify things with the product or the brand names. So, on the example side of it, you can see the various different brands or the products or the ecosystem or the companies which are out there, and they are very active and becoming big in this crypto world with the help of their offerings for DeFi. So, be it like layer 3 application, borrowing, lending, stable, DEX, decentralized exchange, or insurance derivative, and everything else in between. So, that's where all these people are. We'll go to some of them very specifically. Now, just to put things in more perspective, which one is more popular? So, Ethereum is where the money is in terms of decentralized financing, and on Ethereum people are developing all this, so they trust Ethereum because of the power of Ethereum to come out with a token in no time, ERC20 and all this you must have heard of. And plus then there is EOS and Bitcoin. Then these are some of the very popular DEX, decentralized exchanges, Uniswap, Binance being on the top, and then others are coming up. And people want to, just make clone of it, and they think that okay, we have a magic wand, we can create something in 3 months. It doesn't work that way. You have to go through the process, and there is this development cycle that you have to go through. So those who are in technical side of it and those who are attending currently, they must know the process and the pain we go through in order to create something like this, and the amount of time it takes. Now, these various different offering in DeFi space. So, as I was saying, like a lot of companies are coming up in a big way, and there won't be a single company which will cater to all, because things are very niche when it comes to DeFi, and they don't want to overdo anything. They just want to be expert in one or two offerings only, and then they will go from there. And they want others to use their system or whatever they've done so far. They open source their code also, they allow others to use it and build on the top of it. And some of this I've used or I have been part of, or the teams I've been managing, they've used. Civic is one of them, where it's like it provides with the KYC, and AML options. And then there are some MetaMask. So if you're a blockchain developer, your life won't be complete without it. So some of the names you must have heard. Some you can go back and Google and then start experimenting after this session. Now, a similar thing, but with a different perspective. There are some bank names or some other options, or I would say offerings also, besides what we have seen so far here. And some of them you must have already heard of, or you must have already played with, like Coinbase or Hyperledger or IBM, or maybe uh, Maker, or those sort of people, or those companies of the world. And some of them you might explore in coming days or weeks or months. Now, Maker being one of them, and DAI, their one of the offering, which was like a stable coin, which was supported by fiat currency, that is US dollars. And then they have their own another token, which is that crypto. So that's how things were being managed on the Maker side. And then Uniswap being like very popular, and one of the topmost protocol when it comes to uh, like liquidity provision on Ethereum. And they are being followed by a lot of people. There's a lot of developer interest in it, and they have their own products also. And they advertise their governance model and everything. You have to be very transparent when it comes to something new. And FEV space being new, people are very open and transparent. Etherscan, again, those who are anywhere near blockchain or blockchain development, they must have heard of this. And yes, you must have received a lot of inquiries related to Etherscan as well. They have a lot of offerings, as you can see, so I'm not going to read out. It's for you to check when you get chance, if you have not already seen this. Then so here, loan. Now, let's say you want to get crypto, or you have put crypto and you want to get money out of it. So how you want to receive the loan, in form of crypto, or you want to receive the loan in form of fiat? So that's where companies like this, they come into play. They provide you with an option, what you put as collateral, what kind of interest or the difference that you will be paying eventually once you are ready to repay your loan, and those sort of things. So everything is visible. You can check the offers, you can compare also. There are marketplaces out there where you can go and look for the best. Just like in case of Uber, it's like taxi cab aggregator, or there are food company or airline ticket aggregator. Similarly, here there are aggregators out there, or marketplaces, which provides you with comparative study, and you can make very informed decision. Now, crypto wallet, you must be having one or more, and within your wallet, you must be having again one or more crypto sitting there. But then, how seamless you can make it? So, will it be just that long address, or will there be any other option? So, that's where it can make it more friendly. It can be by email, QR, or it can be just by a mobile number, and you can do the transaction. So it's like trying to make things more human readable and more seamless. Then like, do we have just like App Store, right? There it's regular apps for your mobile phone, but then for the App Store also, decentralized application, or distributed application, you need to have a place where you can go and search for it. It's not like you go and do Google all the time, but then there has to be some place where you should be able to go and search for a very specific distributed application or defi app, and there you can make the search easily or fast. Now, nobody wants to left behind. So here, Binance is one of them, and they are running very successful centralized exchange. Now they want to shift towards little towards decentralization, and it will happen eventually one day. And they want to be on board, and they want to provide all these options: trading, P2P, then loans and lendings and borrowings and those sort of options. Now, here again, an example of how seamless a loan application can be. Compare that with your traditional bank and amount of time, energy, phone calls, and chats you might have with your traditional banking or bank officer. Compared to that, you have a sitting at home in your couch watching TV, make the application for the loan, boom, you get the loan. So it's that simple with single or few clicks. Now, swap is something you must be doing all the time, but then provide you with the greater flexibility or the number of coins and tokens that you can support. That's where this makes it more sweet, or I would say more complete. Uh, so if I'm supporting, let's say, 100 coin and 2000 token and those sort of thing, so that will make my app or my offering better than others. Again, one more provider from where I can get it. So the trading system I was talking about, we are working on for one of the client from New York. That's where like inventory providers. So there are a lot of people ready to provide their inventory, and then there will be some exchange or the trading platform where it will go and execute the transaction, and then everything gets updated in real time, and people will get what they are looking for. So the person who is providing the inventory or the original investor, he will get something. The intermediate, this client of us who has came out with this trading platform, he will get something. And the transaction processing company will get something out of it also. So you don't have to do everything by yourself. There are ways and means available. It's just like that if this then that kind of situation, you connect the dots and you have the system which is going to make difference in the world. You will make a mark, you will help people, you'll get investment too for creating such a thing, and people will be ready to onboard. So we have created something similar to this margin trading. So I don't want to educate people here on margin trading. It's not why we are here. But then margin trading in crypto space also, and the rules and regulations, the amount of margin and percentage, and how much you need to have extra, and what is you can get if you have 100%, how much you can get if you have 150%, and all those sort of stories, how you can square off, how we can make money. And very important point here is, as crypto being 24/7, you can take advantage of this 24/7. Plus you need to have real time data available to you via socket. Traditional API calls won't help you here. Now this very simple plain animation, and I like such slides. It gives like a little break to all of us, and we can focus back to our current discussion. But in this very subtle animation, it shows, right, how you can exchange things, and that too in real time. So another example, a UI, a bank compared to crypto. Now this shows traditional versus like a centralized versus decentralized, or silos where nobody is talking with anybody and everybody is living their life in their own way. While in case of like you combine everything, you provide those options to convert from one currency to another currency, and you provide that real time option with very minimal fee, so people don't lose too much money while doing so. This is like I'm talking in English, you are sitting in Japan and you can hear in Japanese. So that sort of thing, if it happens when it comes to money and crypto and everything, so that'll make life easy for all of us, and then it'll make it more popular rather compared to the plastic or the traditional fiat. So there are companies out there who are doing this, and so on one side you will have a stable coin, on other side you might have fiat, you might have crypto, or you might have anything else, and how to convert between all this and to provide with the world the option that they are looking for. Plus at the end of the day, how everybody can make little money for their investment that they are having. Now you make a vote, you are part of the ecosystem or voting is going to become big in few days in US at least. So uh, like what if you are voting and you get some money? I'm not trying to make it bias, or I'm not trying to influence, but it's just like a side example where you can visualize things. So you are part of this ecosystem, you vote for something and you get some reward. So that's how most of the blockchain network works, where things are more open and transparent, more democratic in nature rather than centralized. It's decentralized. So I am almost coming to, I believe, end of my presentation or the event. So here, this is like one of the most important thing. People might ask, okay, fine. Today there are 100 companies out there, or 1,000 companies out there who are trying to do something, trying to scratch the surface. But what is in it for me? I am a developer. I am a sales guy. I am a marketing person. I am running company. So should I get ready for this? Should I make my hands dirty, or should I ask my developer to, take plunge into this? Answer is yes. So if you're not doing so far, you should do it. There is like tons of open source code available out there, which you can play with and come out with something of your own. You can white label it. You can develop from scratch. Choice is all yours. But it's going to become big in future. It The pace might be a little slow, or it'll be fast depending on how quick we recover from all this. But then things are going to change. It won't remain same. And I don't believe in status quo, and neither you should believe in status quo. We are here to make the difference. We are humans, like one of the smartest species. So we should help the world, and bank the unbanked, and then come out with some solution which are decentralized in nature, where you have the people have more control, rather than it's sitting with few people sitting in, let's say, Washington, Delhi, or London, or those sort of places. It should be decentralized, and that's the power of technology. These are two folks I'm working for, and this is my company, SoluLab.com. You can visit our site and you can contact us for any of this if you ever have any question. Now I'll go back to Zoom and I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Utpal, for sharing your expertise and knowledge. Our audience has some questions. So, would you mind if I read out for you?
Sure, why not?
So, great. Thank you. The first question is, where do you anticipate the future of cryptocurrency market, considering the fact that many governments have had rigid attitude towards it and not legalize it as means of transaction?
So, like, to tell you the truth, what they fear the most is losing control. And what my take on this is, today, whatever is illegal becomes legal in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Be it like a marijuana, be it like, same sex relationship or marriages. So, what has been illegal forever has become legal. Crypto being very new, and it won't take maybe more than 5-10 years. When the current generation of people are out, you will see things are becoming legal. It's just they need to listen to tech or people in tech in order to make the world a better place. And I don't see what they might come out with is what China is trying to do, and some other countries will do first is they will have a stable coin which is backed by their own currency. They want like legalize everything, and like one thing which is legal in one country is not legal in another when it comes to crypto. But then the stable coin or a sto which is backed by their own currency is the near future.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing this. The next question is, does the decentralized nature of the blockchain makes it more secure?
It definitely does. So this I get all the time from my clients or would-be clients or potential clients. Like one lady, she's from I would say Maryland somewhere, and she used to ask me like, let's say doctors are getting ransomware. What happens to blockchain when it comes to ransomware, and she was like, the doctor is using cloud, so why he would go for blockchain? I said, how many cloud servers he is having? One. Here we are talking about 50 servers, 500 servers, 5,000 servers. Number of duplication, the replication is immense, and the power is lies in its own architecture, the way things are designed. So there is no doubt and debate over blockchain being secure over anything else that we have currently out there.
That's really informative. Next question is, does ETH faced an issue where malicious participants exploited a bug? However, the major issues was that Ethereum's creator could not resolve the issue until the users themselves downloaded a soft fork code. How would address such challenges, assuring safety of the user's data? If such a wallet was under an attack and the user could not do anything until an update is available.
Yeah, so you have to wait for it. Yes, there is a possibility. Then you have to wait for it. Somebody to take the action. Like undone all the transaction, and then get you your money back. Your funds may be frozen for a day or two or a week. Now this happens in traditional system also. So I'm not trying to defend anything here. What I'm trying to do is trying to give you an answer in a way that yes, there are challenges out there, and there will be ways and means challenges will be overcome in future. And yes, it's being made by developers only, so there will be two sides of the coin all the time, just like we are having viruses, ransomware, all these things coming to us on daily basis. Backdoor attacks. Similarly, on blockchain, people will try and experiment, the dark web people, and then they will try to hack into it, try to get money out of it, and then in order to just keep you secure, they will freeze your funds, and then you'll get frustrated. But believe me, that's part of life. It's happening in traditional banking and finance. It's going to happen in this also. But yes, compared to traditional, I believe this is much more safe and secure, and things will evolve to a better version, better shape in future.
That's really nice. Last question. Can you please explain what are off-chain transactions?
Okay, it's good that you have asked. So, off-chain is where you do some kind of processing, right? So, the Oracle that I mentioned last year, we were part of a project where we were developing a system which was like more of a fork of EOS, and then we were building ecosystem on top of it. So, we came out with this universal Oracle. Now, people think there is nothing like universal Oracle, but then eventually we could develop after effort of like 6 months, and a lot of people get involved from various different part of the world. So here what you do is you have a smart contract, you have the main chain, and then what you do outside of that chain, because on the chain itself or the blockchain, what you are going to put is the final transaction, final data. You are not going to keep everything there. So let's say you are processing an image and you are going to put a final image there. You are not going to put, let's say, too many images, or you are not going to put video there, or you are not going to put like lengthy data there. So all this processing has to happen outside, and that's where it's going to happen off chain. Then you verify somebody, you do identity verification. So there are n number of things that or examples that are out there which will happen eventually outside of blockchain. Blockchain you can consider as like a fancy database, but a very secure one. And there is like not processing is not happening there. Processing has to happen outside first, and then once it's done, once it's verified, once everybody is in agreement, then it will go on to the chain, and it will sit there forever.
That's really very informative, Mr. Utpal. And thank you so much for sharing giving all the answers to the questions asked by the users. That will be really helpful to the users. And that's really wonderful to have you on our GFiT 2020.